Good afternoon and welcome to Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA as it's often shortly referred to. We're at the main Terminal 1 where the vast bulk of the international airlines fly into here in Kuala Lumpur. We just got off Sri Lankan Airlines flight in business class from Colombo, so be sure to check out that one in your spare time as well. Anyway, this afternoon we're going to be just picking up our bags now, clearing customs, and we're going to be catching the KLIA Express Train all the way here from the airport, which is located in the Sepang district of Selangor State here in Malaysia. We're going to take it all the 57 kilometres into central Kuala Lumpur, where their main KL Central station is. It's going to be about a 28-minute direct service, which is definitely probably the quickest way to get into central Kuala Lumpur, although it might not necessarily be the fastest way to get to your final destination in Kuala Lumpur, depending on where your hotel is and all that sort of stuff. You might have to get a grab or a local train once you get there. Anyway, we're going to check out the experience today. So once you arrive at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, once you've cleared customs, you need to head down the escalators, and then underground there's a station where the KLIA Express and also the longer KLIA transit train leaves from. You can certainly get the KL transit train service all the way through to KL Central. However, this particular service has a small handful of intermediate stops along the way onwards as you approach KL Central. So yeah, if KL Central is your final destination, very much recommend you just get the KL Express train, as you'll save about 10 minutes in travel duration. In terms of frequency, this train service is not overly frequent, but it's not too bad either. Runs every 20 minutes in both directions from around 5 AM through to midnight, 7 days a week. The KL Transit, I believe, has a similar sort of frequency, but that's about every half an hour, I believe. Now, as we enter this very well done underground train station here at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, let me also just add you can actually get the KLIA Express or KLIA Transit train through to KLIA 2, which is the home of AirAsia. Very, very handy if you've got to transfer between the two terminals, or you can indeed travel to and from KLIA 2 all the way through to KL Central. So that's really good to know. However, do keep in mind this is airside, outside of the secure area of the terminal. So yeah, if you are transiting between flights, even international flights here at KL, and you're going between KLIA 1 and KLIA 2, this means you will have to clear usual customs and immigration and then rechecking your bags at the other terminal. So yeah, it just is what it is. For your information, pricing on this route is not overly cheap, especially considering Malaysian standards. The cost of taxis and the local equivalent of Uber being Grab is very affordable here in Malaysia. But yeah, considering that, standard one-way service on the KLIA Express between KLIA 1 and KL Central costs 55 Malaysian ringgit, which is approximately 18 Australian dollars. If you buy a return ticket at the point of purchase, this brings it down to 100 Malaysian ringgit. If you want to save a few extra dollars again, you can save a further 10% by booking on the official KLIA Express website. So that brings it down a little bit more as well. Do keep in mind, however, if you do need to transfer to a local train or monorail service once you arrive at KL Central to get to your final destination in KL, you will have to then purchase another ticket for that particular service. In this case today, I'm staying near KLOC, which is where the Petronas Towers are, so I'm going to have to transfer to a local service, which would have entailed buying another ticket. Once I got there, they do have what's called a KL travel pass. However, it's 120 Malaysian ringgit, and that's if you intend to return to Kuala Lumpur International Airport within a 1 month period, as that includes your return KLIA Express Train service. Although if you are just travelling one way, you can get a 75 ringgit KL travel pass. With either of these two options, you also, apart from your KLIA Express transfer or transfers, you get 2 days of unlimited rides on the KL monorail, LRT and MRT services. So this is not a bad option if you're planning to travel around KL a lot by public transport, which is especially so if you're not overly familiar with Kuala Lumpur's public transport network, as it allows you just to tap on and tap off without having to worry about calculating the correct fare price. So this is what I indeed did for my recent trip to Kuala Lumpur. You can purchase a KL travel pass or indeed a regular KL Express ticket at one of these such locations, such as in the arrivals hall on level 3, and then also in level 1, and also KLIA 2. You can do it in the international arrivals hall as well, and then also at KL Central you can buy express tickets at the departure hall level 1 there as well. So in reality, at the end of the day, with a KL Express pass, it's really hard to, coming from Australia, to complain too much about the value. Comes to about 39.40 Australian dollars. You got 2 return high speed rail transfers, 58 kilometers to and from the airport. It's definitely a fair distance. Then 2 days of unlimited travel on the LRT, monorail and MRT services. That's pretty darn good. That being said, I don't think the KL travel pass is the be all and end all product to get when travelling to KL in terms of transportation. It does have a lot of limitations, to be honest, and I think it's quite restrictive in the way you can use it as well. So I don't think I really fully maximise my value out of it. To start, you've got to use the 2 days of unlimited travel on the LRT, monorail and MRT over 2 consecutive days. And considering if you're arriving on the KL Express train at KL Central, most likely you're going to need to transfer onto the local network once you arrive. So yeah, you're pretty well, as the case I did, pretty well the first day when you're arriving at KL, you're already using up one of those consecutive days. And then because it's a consecutive days, you're locked into having to use it the next day if you want to get any further value out of it. And for me, the next day in Kuala Lumpur, I really just walked around. It's pretty easy to get around KL. Didn't really see much need to use it. And then the next day I went to the Genting Highlands, which I got a grab all the way up to the Genting Highlands. Only cost less than $20. Unbelievable value. And then the 3rd or the 4th day when I was in Kuala Lumpur, when I was going to return to the airport, yes, I had the airport transfer already included as it was a return ticket, but I couldn't use it to get to KL Central Station from KLCC, as it already the consecutive days are up, even though I hadn't actually activated a second day of use for the pass. So that's a little bit annoying, to be honest. And also it doesn't include buses in Kuala Lumpur, and it doesn't include every type of public transport that's available in KL either. So there's quite a lot of limitations. They just did a little thing to improve the KL travel pass, make it a little bit more flexible, a little bit more user friendly, then I think they'd be on a real winner. For example, even if they had to slightly increase the price, if it included a complimentary transfer on the same day of travel when you're going to and from the airport to your final destination, and then you could use it for any 2 days of your choosing rather than consecutive days. So in other words, you can get to your final destination to and from the airport included in the one go, then you get 2 separate full days of unlimited use on the LRT, MRT and monorail. That would make it a lot more useful and worthwhile travel pass to everyone, in my opinion. I'll be sure to get back to offering my overall thoughts and verdict as to the KL Express experience, especially in terms of value for money and whether I'd take it again. But for now, just a little bit of information about the train journey itself. And this is probably the most enjoyable part of the whole KL Express experience, is actually getting on the train. It's a really modern high-speed train, and it gives you a really, especially if you're flying into KL for the first time, KL International Airport is actually located in the Sepang district of Selangor State in Malaysia. So yeah, it's a far way out from the centre of KL itself, so you get a really good glimpse of the Malaysian countryside as you travel into KL. So the KLIA Express and the KLIA Transit trains both are operated by Express Rail Link here in Malaysia, has a daily ridership of approximately just over 6,000 passengers, or an annual passenger ridership of around 2.2 million yearly. The service first was started in April 2002, so it's been operating for around 21 years now, and the service has been extended all the way out to KLIA 2 pretty well since that terminal opened around 9 years ago. As I said before, the total length of the journey is about 57 kilometres, and the track gauge is a 1435mm standard gauge, and it's an electrified route. These trains operating on the route are either Gyro E2 425M electric multiple unit operated train, or a CRRC Changquam Equator electric multiple unit. So yeah, there's 8 of these Siemens Desiro trains and 2 of the CRRC Changquan Equator trains. Basically, these trains have a theoretical top speed of 200 kilometers an hour, although the commercial top speed on this route is about 160 kilometers an hour, and they take around 156 passengers in a seated position. So yeah, these trains are very fast. Definitely a very efficient way to get from KL Central to the airport, or vice versa. In terms of the seatings and amenities on the KL Express train, found it to be a very comfortable journey and experience. The seating is quite comfortable. Seemed to be a pretty spacious journey today, not overly crowded, so everyone had ample room to themselves, so that was really good. There's ample luggage and dedicated luggage racks on the train as well, so yeah, you just don't have to worry too much about being crammed in with your luggage. You just put that in a dedicated spot. That's really good. Air conditioning is really good on these trains as well, so you're hardly going to notice the heat and the humidity of tropical Malaysia outside. There's pretty fast free 4G Wi-Fi as well on this train, so very handy if you've just arrived into Malaysia and you either don't have mobile data or you're trying to preserve mobile data. Yeah, the free Wi-Fi is more than enough for moderate use purposes. Very accessible train as well, definitely wheelchair accessible facilities. There's also bathroom facilities on board as well, so that's handy. There's particular quiet zones in certain parts of the carriages, so that's good to know. And there's also digital infotainment screens as well, providing a bit of information about the route journey, Kuala Lumpur, and other aspects of the journey. So yeah, plenty to keep you occupied and comfortable on the short 28-minute journey through to KL. Another very convenient and handy amenity, a rather cool amenity actually, that is offered by the KL Express train. It's more related to when you're travelling towards Kuala Lumpur International Airport. It's a new early check-in facility that they offer at KL Central Station. It's only just recently started in the last few weeks in around mid-October 2023, but basically allows passengers of Malaysia Airlines and Batik Air to check in early, check their bags at KL Central before they head on the train to the airport. Just makes it a lot easier and seamless once they arrive at the airport. Looking at the website, currently this service, it doesn't say what the cut-off time for domestic flights is, but yeah, for international flights you definitely need to do it at least 2 hours before your flight departure if you're taking advantage of that option. But yeah, you should well and truly be on the train 2 hours before an international flight. Should be more like 3 hours, to be honest. So yeah, that's a really handy facility to have. It's just for Malaysia Airlines and Batik Air at the moment, but maybe it will be rolled out to more carriers going on in the future. And yes, you do need to actually be traveling the same day on a KL Express train service. So yeah, you'll need to show them your ticket or whatever to be able to take advantage of that facility. Also at KL Central Station as well, there's lots of amenities that will cater to travellers as well, currency exchange places and that sort of stuff. So it's a pretty good hub, KL Central itself, for travellers to get ready before and after your flights into Kuala Lumpur. Anyway, as we now start to make our approach into central Kuala Lumpur, it's been a very pleasant and quick, efficient, and definitely a comfortable and at times quite scenic journey into Kuala Lumpur today. What more can I say about the KL Express train service? I think at face value, it's a very, very good train service. It's very quick, it's very efficient, it's very comfortable. The amenities offered on board are really good. And yeah, I think the price of the service, it's certainly not dirt cheap, but it is a 58-kilometre journey. So yeah, I do understand why it does cost a little bit. So yeah, I think the 55 ringgit one way, or about 18 Australian dollars, is pretty fair. That being said, however, in reviewing the practicality of taking the KL Express train, I think it's a little bit more nuanced, because I think at the end of the day, the moment your final destination is not KL Central, or your accommodation is, within walking distance of KL Central, the convenience of getting the train diminishes quite quickly. And yeah, that's especially when you put it in consideration that the cost of getting a grab or a taxi is probably only going to be around 75 Malaysian ringgit, or only $3 or $4 more than getting the train each way. So yeah, in terms of the train journey itself, the actual train, I really, really rate it. Got no issues in giving it a solid 9 out of 10. Really outstanding journey. Definitely the fastest airport train that I've been on. I think it covers 58 kilometres in 28 minutes or so. Reaches speeds of up to 160 kilometres an hour. That's really impressive for a train that takes people to and from an airport. Yeah, so the journey itself was very comfortable, very efficient. It's a modern train, it's got modern amenities. So yeah, I really appreciate that. It was a really comfortable way to travel from the airport to the city. It also gave me great views of the Malaysian countryside along the way as well. What, however, does let, in the overall scheme of things, the train journey down is just the practicality. Arriving at KL Central, it's not exactly that central to many of the downtown areas of KL. For most people, you're still going to need to transfer to another local KL train service, or you're going to have to get a grab or taxi to your final destination. So for me, I had to transfer to another train. Took a bit of time and effort trying to find and locate, and then yeah, I'm commuting in KL peak hour on another train. And then when I got to KLCC station, it was then about another 1.5 kilometre walk with my luggage to my final hotel, which is supposed to be a very central hotel for KL standards. So yeah, by the time I actually left the airport, getting the train, arriving at my final destination, it was more like an hour and a half as opposed to the 28 minutes that it takes just to get to the KL Central. So yeah, it takes a lot longer to get to your final destination if you're getting the KL Express train. That's obviously if your final destination is not right next to KL Central. And the other significant detracting reality of the KL Express train journey is the lack of any real noticeable cost differential savings in getting the train over instead getting a grab or a taxi. So yeah, most airport trains or airport shuttle buses, generally speaking, in most countries and most major airports are going to offer significant savings, you know, over that of getting a taxi or a ride share or some other form of transportation. Often the savings can be 5-10 times the cost of, you know, getting those forms of transportations. Especially, for example, when I caught the Taipei train line out to the airport, would have been saving probably over 10 times the cost of getting a taxi. But yeah, here in Malaysia, getting a grab, despite it being a 58 kilometre journey, would have only amounted to around an extra 5 or 6 Australian dollars or about 75 Malaysian ringgit. When you put this into consideration, the fact that if your final destination is not actually KL Central, you're going to have to spend even more to get a taxi or a local train to your final destination. The actual cost saving is literally going to be negligible. So a few days later, when it actually came back time to go back to the airport, I just actually booked a grab to take me to the KL Central station so I could get the train. Only cost about $4 and only marginally more than what it would cost to get the train to the KL Central station. But yeah, despite only being $4, it's still going to take 15 to 20 minutes in heavy Kuala Lumpur traffic to get to KL Central station. So yeah, in a nutshell, the train service is really good. It's moderately priced, although the cost differential is not that great at all between that of getting a grab. So objectively speaking, would I get the KL Express train again? Well, it very much depends. If I'm staying anywhere in the immediate vicinity of KL Central Station, then absolutely, I would certainly not hesitate to get the KL Express train again. It's definitely the fastest way as well, definitely going to be faster than travelling by car to get to downtown Kuala Lumpur. Though if I was staying anywhere that wasn't within easy walking distance of KL Central, I would just get a grab, pay a couple extra dollars and save myself all the hassle of having to transfer to a local train at KL Central and then potentially still having to walk some distance with my luggage, which can be a risky prospect, particularly here late in the afternoon in tropical Kuala Lumpur, as often you get heavy thunderstorms and rain showers. So that wouldn't be the ideal way to start your trip, with soaking wet luggage. So thank you very much for watching today's KLIA Express train review. Really hope it's given you a great insight on what it's like to get the train from the airport to central Kuala Lumpur and whether it's worth your time and effort getting to, and what the practicality of actually getting it is like in real life. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, really appreciate it. Do give it a like, hit that subscribe and bell button so you won't miss another one. Plenty of aviation and travel content on the channel, plenty of walking tours, plenty of flight reviews, plenty of other good general purpose travel content as well. Don't forget to also visit my website, aussiejetsetter.com.au, for latest and flight reviews, industry news, destination guides, frequent flyer hacks and more. I'll also put a link in the description below to my socials, such as my dedicated Instagram page. We can see all my short form travel content covering where I am in the world in real time. Also, don't forget to visit my dedicated Discord server for fans and community of the channel to come together and talk all things aviation and travel. But until the next one, thank you very much for watching today's KLIA Express Train review. Really hope you've enjoyed it, and safe travels wherever that might take you.